Hi, I'm David Wilson, co-founder of Blackboard Solar. We created a innovative backpack that provides mobile portable power. We are looking to get into the marketplace that allow our people to see some of the great things and great innovations that people that look like myself have done in the marketplace. And we are very excited that we've made our first production run from our manufacturing partners. And we are looking to go toe-to-toe with the traditional backpack market.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, I have Sir David Wilson. He's going to give us the game on his company, Blackboard Solar. This is a backpack that just happens that be able to power your cell phone or some of the other devices. Think hurricane, especially for my Floridians. When that power goes out, and if you don't have a gen rack, or some type of generator to back up, you may need some extra help, but you might be camping, you might be doing all type of things. The sky is the limit on this product, but he's going to give us the game on how he started this product. So David, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Tell people, I know you've done an interview on a very popular show that I watch, Viral Hip Hop News. They have some stuff, especially when Joe Brown come on there. Judge Joe Brown, you don't know what they're going to say. But I want you to tell the people, how did this come into play where you say, I'm going to do a solar backpack of all things?
Well, it just didn't come like that. It came out of left field. And I'm going to tell you, I at the time I was working at the New York Stock Exchange, right? And I get a phone call from my mom, and she's telling me about the conditions of my dad who has Alzheimer's. Okay. And so when she's telling me this tragic news, she's telling me to call my brother who was in Iraq, being what you call a military consultant, training soldiers in Iraq. And so when I tried to call him several times, it kept on going to voicemail. But when he returned my call, he tells me that he never had any power for a cell phone. I'm like, how can you be dealing with the military and no power for your cell phone? And this is like 2003, 2004. And so that kind of stuck in the back of my mind. I'm like, bothered me, it was like a problem that that needed to be fixed. Okay. And so fast forward a few years, I started working for a trading firm where I did a patent project where we were infringing on a patent. I was able to successfully work for a corporation and get around an infringement issue. I said, you know what, I can apply this for myself. So that problem about the backpack, or about the power, I was starting to think of a solution. I need to find an existing product in the marketplace and modify that product with changes that I can own and patent. So I found a backpack, and I found a solution with solar, and there was products out there in the marketplace that was integrating the backpack. And I said, why would somebody want to have a backpack everywhere they want to go? So I came up with a detachable solar solution that goes with a backpack, and I was able to get a patent. And so that happened in 2013. But it's kind of like when you're young, you're going to a party in college and so forth. You go to a party at 9 o'clock in the evening, there's no one there. You're sitting there waiting for the party to start, but no one's there. That was me with my product. I was early to the party. But when you fast forward to COVID, social distancing, you see the crumbling infrastructure of this country that we live in. You're seeing the issues with the energy grid. Thus, my company and its innovation has been propelled forward in the marketplace only because we were able to stand strong while the market wasn't there. Now it's here, and now we're able to present our company and our product to the marketplace that in the case of a war, in case of famine, in case of civil unrest, and we've seen all those things happen over the last few years, from George Floyd You have groups around the country attacking our electrical power grid. And so right now you're maybe fine with power, but at some point in time you may be without. And if you're without, you're gonna wish that you had a solution that you can have on your person. And so that's where we came up with Blackboard Solar. I can show you. Here's one of our examples. This is a leather example of our product, handcrafted, very high end quality stitching. And so what we have is that you have your solar panel. And so what I mentioned to you before, the solar panel here, it's indoors, and you can see the light right here. It's already collecting energy from my indoors, and it actually goes into a battery storage, so that while it's connected to your panel, there's a battery connected, and you storing your energy for later use. So you're never going to be without power. And so one of our things is that this is detachable. So if you're outside, you're in your golf cart or in a tree, you can put it on your tent. It's your power source. We're on the go. And what are our other renditions that we have it in black, we have it in gray, but it's solid. It looks like a standard backpack, and you'll see the standard backpack. But one of the things that we have is that we hide the panel. It's totally hidden so that it looks like a normal backpack. So if it's hidden, it doesn't bring any attention to you. But when you need it, you're able to utilize it. And when you look at our configuration, it's somewhere about 80% of the market has this particular configuration where we're able to get a provisional patent and a design patent. And so we could potentially go to companies out there that has this design, and they can utilize our IP for their brands or white label their products. And so, yes, we were early to the party, but yes, we're on platforms like this to let people know that, hey, look, we're here to stay, and we're here to compete in this global market, going toe to toe with others in this particular space, providing mobile portable power.
So much that you said in there. Let me start with, when you go out and put a patent, a lot of people watch Shark Tank now, it's been on like 15 seasons or more, and people hear about, oh, patent. And it's always funny because clients will, hey, I want to put a patent on this. And then they come back and say, wait, the application alone is thousands of dollars for the attorney. You really have to believe in yourself to do the patent. And there are some, different attorneys who will do different things, and a design patent may be cheaper than the utility. Gotcha. But you still are having to believe in yourself enough to say, you know what? I don't need that Balenciaga bag for Madame. I'm going to put it in the patent. Can you talk about that part of it? Because a lot of people can't get over that hump, which means they do not protect themselves and they just start doing something.
Yeah, the patent process was a long process. It was a painfully expensive process. But what I would suggest anyone is that you have to understand, I'm in Chicago, and to get a patent in Chicago is going to cost different than in St. Louis or Des Moines, Iowa, or Denver. So I was able to find top attorneys in a location that their fees structure was more conducive to for myself at the time. So I was able to leverage a top-notch law firm in a smaller market, and the staff that they had worked at the SBA, had their experience coming directly from the SBA. And so when we had a issue that we had to address in my patent, my attorney was able to get on the phone and call their colleague that's at the SBA to find out what do we need to do to fix and get around this patent. And so that feedback alone allowed me to get the patent, and I didn't spend a lot of hard-earned money on wasteful pie in the sky actions by an attorney. If you don't know, you're not going to know this, but I would always suggest do your research and find the best based on your budget in a smaller market that you can have that one-on-one relationship where they can actually do the best quality service.
That's real talk. Before you said, my attorney called, I said in Chicago, your attorney might also be on his way to jail or something, because Chicago's one of those cities where it gets thick. Hey man, you need some money? And I tease y'all Chicago, but Chicago's one of those cities. It's like Springfield, Massachusetts. Anything can go down in Chicago. I mean, the spirit is, this is the hustle is real. So if y'all haven't been to Chicago, go check that out and go, tie in, because it's a beautiful thing. But you found some good people and a good network, and that's what it takes to go to the next level. You spend the money now to do that, just to do the patent, but I don't read anywhere on your website or, any information that I found on you that you were like an engineer or you were a solar, expert. So how did you go about that? Because you're doing something that may not necessarily be in your field. So what did you do to like put the, thing together?
Now that's a really good question. And I'm going to put it this way, is that I may not know how to do it, but I know how to get it done. And so what does that mean? It means that I'm creative enough a thinker to kind of find the right solutions through trial and error to find out. There's things that you're going to have to go through in business that your four-year college is never going to teach you. You're going to have to learn some of this stuff organically through trial and error. But I knew that the problem that I was looking to solve, I knew it was a problem. The other thing that was going in my favor when I got the patent filed was in 2008. President Obama was in the White House, and he was going into a clean green energy. So I already knew the resources was going to go into that particular market at the time I had the idea. So even right now, they're trying to switch our economy to a clean green economy right now. And you might see it in Florida, you might see it in other parts of the country, but yeah, they are trying to switch us from coal, from gas, whatever, and they're forcing people into electric cars, smart homes, and so forth. And so we are in the right spot at the right particular time. How I did it, because I just had the ability to kind of see where the market was going. And I will take this an example. I played football in college, and I was a running back. And so one thing about a running back, you have to see the whole field. And so when you know that the hole is going to open up, the hole may not be there when you walk running, but you can kind of see that things are happening in front of you that's opening up that field so that you can advance forward. The patent, the market, and the problem was the thing that I utilized that tool to see the market open to allow me to be where I'm at today.
Now, if in real life, tell me if this rain is bothering you, or if you can't hear me, is this bothering you?
No.
Okay, folks who are listening, I really love filming outside every chance I get. And so that's what you're hearing, real raindrops. And you said you are running back. For the folks who are watching and can see the jersey on the back behind you, I want it to be clear, because there is a David Wilson. I'm a licensed sports agent as well. So sometimes it pays for me to know stuff. I just want to make sure they say, oh, David Wilson said. Now, it's not the David Wilson playing in the NFL right now who's a running back, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, David.
We're totally two separate people.
Okay, just want to make sure. I don't want this to be like the other podcasts who like to where they really need to stop the cap, but we're just making sure we clarify for everybody. No deep fakes over here. That's not what we have to do. So you got it done. You get the team to make the dream happen. But even that is pricey because solar panels, I have one, and it's not cheap. I got my pool is heated by solar. It's not cheap to do that. So did you go after any angel friends or family or any venture funding while doing this, or did you bootstrap it all?
Bootstrapped it all because if you know the history of patents in America and the innovation that has come from our people, at the end of the day, we don't own some of the things that we created. A lot of stuff been stolen and it's taken from us. I really wanted to do it organically. Don't get me wrong. There have been times when I really needed some help, but not all money is good money, you know? And so I was able to continue to bootstrap it. And I think where we're at today, where we own 100% of our stock, we're in a really good position so that I'm just gonna be honest with you. Some of these angels, if they're not pushing an agenda, it's I'm just gonna say it that way. If you're not fitting in certain types of demographics, then you might as well just don't even try. And I had more doors slammed in my face than you realize. So I'm stronger for not accepting it.
And excuse me for the delay, but I couldn't take the rain anymore. So have to move into the office. And all of that is true. It's much more difficult for us, but it's not impossible. But what we do have to do if we want to go after that VC money, we have to be in certain circles. And those circles, even if you went to Harvard or Harvard of the South, which is Grambling State University, my audience, y'all hear me talk about that all the time. You have to be in certain circles because people lend to people they know, people they trust, people they call friends, whatever that means. So it is possible to get funding. But I always tell my clients, do you want to be owned? Because once you take the funding, like the scriptures say, the borrower is slave to the who? The lender. If you guys didn't know that one, I need you to go back into your scriptures and get that right and tight. The Ethiopian version of that book, particular, the first version. Now, this is a brand new product, but I do want to ask you, whether you're doing something now or something planned for the future, what is a community give back that you would like to do or that you're doing?
Quite frankly, I would like to open up schools. Not like, one of our brothers, this Dr. Umar Johnson, who goes around schools. I'm not trying to shame him or anything like that, but it doesn't take much to open a school. Even if you had a house and you had a basement, you can have a school. You don't need it's not the building, it's the whole action behind what you're really trying to do. If you're going to be the first teacher and you start teaching a curriculum, that's your school. It started. You don't need all that funding. But for me, I would like to have a curriculum where we don't have to push the stuff that they're doing in the school system today it's atrocious. They're not even teaching kids. They're dumbing your kids down. And I think for people that look like look like you and myself is like, we just don't need to be in their schools. There's nothing as good as coming out of their school system. But and I think that right now there's more options to inflict that kind of terrorism on your children. If you can do something, I would love to be able to help fix that problem. And I believe that with a successful business, we'll be able to help establish those beacons, you know, in Chicago and across the country, you know, and we own it. It's private. It's going to be our curriculum. It's going to be allow our kids to thrive in a conducive environment, and that's the stake I want to make in our society, our school system. You know, and I was just thinking the other day is that our people are a managed asset. We're a managed race, you know, and most of our people don't realize how much we are managed like cattle on a farm, and we have to break that noose and do our own thing, so you're not a managed group of people.
You are preaching and teaching, and you know, I homeschool my kids, and people say, well, no, it must be nice, but during the pandemic, you all had to figure out something. And so, you know, to find even online teachers, I'm talking about $300 or less for your kids to have their own teacher. You can email me or hit me up on social media if you want to find out how to do that. That's something that I think I don't trust the school system, not just for what they teach and being in crazy Florida, but I knew growing up, for me, it wasn't even, it wasn't an ideal, you know, scenario. And they're teaching the same thing. And you know what's unfortunate? A lot of our HBCUs are teaching the same thing that they were teaching 20 years ago with the same teachers, professors from all over the world, where you have new graduates every year. And those people can, you know, it's hard for them to get a job or a position, especially getting paid what they need to get paid, Sally Mae back. So I love that. The last thing I'll say about your school adventure, and when you want to do it, regular everyday people in Africa create schools in Africa all the time. In my country, you guys might be able to see, for those of you looking, the lion in the back, behind that is Sierra Leone, the flag. You know, $20,000 can get you a school, or it can have you invest in a school in a major way. You see all these athletes doing it, and comedians and different people. You know, you put in 25,000, 50,000 into something, you have a school, and you have 54 countries as we speak now to pick from. It's not that difficult. Some people say you can do it with even less, for 10 grand. You know, who knows? It just depends on, you know, how big and what your vision is. As far as your vision and with your technology, and I just want to throw this out there for anybody, Tote and Carrie, I'm really talking to y'all because I was talking about you guys off air with Sir David. You are allowing white labeling. You are looking at even licensing deals. That's correct. Let the people know if they're interested in any of that. How do they reach out to you?
Yeah, you can reach us. You can hit me up at www.blackboardsolar.com, or you can hit me up at David at blackboardsolar.com by email. My phone number is 312-296-1345. You can call me directly. Look forward to hearing, sharing some of the things we're planning on doing, and we look forward to working with you as well.
And if you call, don't call with any low ball saying, you know, I'm trying to get 2 backpacks to see what it do with the white label. This isn't buying, you know, half a OZ. You know, buy some weight, because you guys spend weight on everything else, every other product. So if you're going to put your name on it, you know, especially for you influencers and brands, you know, buy in weight as much as you can. I'm sure Dave will be reasonable, but I can just see the folks. Let me just get one made, like Chris Rock in that movie, you know, let me just get one rib. No, buy the full slab so you have something to present and push and maybe even give away. Hello.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We will have great of logo, putting your logo on it, but you know, everything will be done decently in order.
Yes, and white label is it's a great thing. And you know, when I think of a vision, I see influencers being able to take this bag, making it their own. And you know, there's an influencer program on Amazon. Walmart is now competing; they have their own influencer program. And so, you know, however you guys, whatever that vision is, get it now, because you can make $1 million off a product like this easy globally. Easy, but you got to put, you know, your foot to the ground. You got to put your money where your big mouths are. And instead of paying Mercedes, pay yourself and get a product. You can't replicate in white label Mercedes. This product you can. I'm not going to give too much game, David, because we're going to have to come back on when you get your first, you know, 100 or $100 million sales. I want you to talk about it. You might come in with a crown on your head and a gold beard with, you know, diamonds in it, just shaking it to the people. It's all good. But, you know, in Jesus Christ's name, let it happen if you know what to do with it. But give the people where they can go, either pre-order or get on your list to get a bag if they just want to be a consumer of this.
Yeah, so you can just go to our website, blackboardsolar.com. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a pre-order link that's providing a 30%, 10% discount right now if you pre-order it right now. So if you're buying it from the link, you're getting a discount. But once we're on Amazon, the price is going to go up 35% once it's listed on Amazon. So I think right now is the best time to go online and buy it. You'll be first in the queue to get your product, especially at a discount.
You guys have got the game. Again, I don't want to overshare it because I can go on and on. There's so much in this technology, but I got to leave something for MK PhD and everybody else in the space to be able to talk about a product like this. Because if I go too deep, you know, there's a time and a place. So make sure, if you do nothing else, you guys share this game. It will change somebody's life. You be blessed.
Blackboard Solar has the next generation of backpacks that has mobile portable power, utilizing solar technology. This will allow you to charge your phones up while traveling, while camping, while hiking, or anytime you're off the grid. And especially during natural disasters, will allow you to keep your phone charged while in emergency. Go to blackboardsolar.com and pre-order your backpack today.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stretch the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.